Time to get the rear cylinder head exhaust gasket out. It looks pretty beat up, so let's get a fresh one in there, as well as the front cylinder. We're gonna get a fresh one in that. We're getting ready to mount the exhaust. Hoping it comes out pretty easy. I'm just gonna use a little hook here, a little pick, just kind of stabbing into it and pulling it out. Trying not to gouge the aluminum at all. And there we go. Yeah, I think it's worth changing out. We want a nice good seal on our exhaust flanges. Add it to the junk pile. That's all the stuff we swapped out so far. Not bad, not bad. Here's our 2 new gaskets that the kit comes with. We're gonna clean up the gasket area a little bit. Some brake clean on a rag here, paper towel. It's gonna be pretty black in there. Just a light cleaning. Okay, well, let's attempt to get our exhaust gasket in here. I actually have had these in the freezer overnight, hoping that it would kind of shrink a little bit, easing the installation process. But we're gonna try this technique because I've destroyed a couple of these before. So basically you have a tapered end, a fat end on one side, and it tapers down to a skinnier end. So you're gonna want the fatter, wider part flat against the cylinder. It'll seat right in that hole. So I'm gonna attempt to use the flange off of the exhaust and gently just feed it on in there. Try to ease it on in, seat it nicely. Hopefully we don't do any damage. Just gonna roughly place it in there without trying to tweak it at all. Sorry, I can't really see much. I'm hoping that this will just spread the pressure out evenly. Hopefully we don't smash it. Kind of want to get it a little bit better. Hold on. See, it's a little difficult, but we'll get it figured out. We'll get it on there. Well, scratch that idea. I just ended up working it around slowly until it was seated nicely. Got a little issue here. Gave me a little fight, but I just kind of took my time and worked it all the way in and around. And now we're seating nicely. We got one down, one to go. Not really sure if freezing the gasket is doing anything, but I'm just hoping that it is. Maybe it would have been even more of a problem if it wasn't cold and shrunken. But here we are, we got the next one going in. Rear cylinder. Just gonna start working it in nice and slowly. Cleaning up the gasket surface is also a big deal. Plays a big part in getting this thing in successfully. And also not dropping it helps as well. These mesh ones are real tricky, but I hear they seal better than the other style that you can buy. Try not to stab yourself. That also doesn't help much installing. I saw some techniques online. People are making their own DIY tools with like a carriage bolt and a couple washers that kind of just seat this thing in nicely. And I actually tried to find it on Home Depot, but they didn't have any big washers. I needed an 1.5 inch, or 1 3/4 and an 7/8 inches. Biggest I could find there was an 1.5 inches. So I said, screw it. I'm just gonna do it to the best of my ability. Worst case, I gotta buy new gaskets. All right, we're about 3/4 in. Fudge, and that just comes out. See, it's a bit frustrating, but just like working on anything, it could be frustrating. Okay, we got it in. It wasn't easy, especially just doing it with your fingers slowly around and around and around. Once you get one side in, the other side pops out, but it is possible to do it just with your fingers. A couple choice words were said, but other than that, it's installed, and we are ready to throw on that exhaust pipe. A thunder hitter coming up. Untape our exhaust. Untape our O2 sensor holes. We're ready to start lining this thing up. Guiding it home. Time to guide it home. Just like we practiced. Psych, we didn't practice. Guide it back. I better grab my nuts. Had to grab my nuts for my studs. Put a dab of Never Seize, Anti-Seize on the threads. That way it never seizes. Basically just going to line up the flanges with the studs and get the nuts started. And then I'll show you guys a little closer what's going on. And make sure your flanges are all the way pushed up and ready to mount. Okay, I got one nut started on the thread. Okay, got one started. Let's try to get this other one going here. Gonna get my finger in there. A little extension on here. Not much thread to work with. Your mother, not going on. Well, we got a problem with our stud here. We had to basically drill and tap this one a little bigger the last time because I ended up stripping out the original stud. So we are one size over on this, and you can see the stud that we use has a shoulder on it and the stock one does not. So we have all those extra threads available for the nut. We're not so lucky on this end. So I can't get it started without it kind of stripping the first thread. So I'm gonna attempt to get this old one off and try to back it out a little bit, give me a little bit more thread to screw in the nut. If that doesn't work, then I'll have to just get another style stud without the shoulder on there so we can get all the threads that we need. So that's what I'm gonna attempt. Double up the nuts. One goes on backwards, the other one goes on forwards. Tighten them together. And then I'm also gonna heat up the stud as best I can with the torch. Try to see if it's gonna shrink up for us. That wasn't a fart. I also hit this with some PB Blaster last night, let it sit. So we are hopefully in high spirits to get this thing out today. Lucky you guys, you get to go along for the ride. Flange nuts with a little bit of notches in there so they grip together. It's already kind of hard to start the first couple threads on here. Never fun to do. It's only fun when it comes out for you. So stay tuned, we're gonna get this thing out hopefully. So wish me luck. Gonna get a wrench on the first nut and then we're gonna tighten down the second nut. Get easier access along the back side here. Hopefully they'll grip each other. You can hear it biting into each other there. Couple courtesy hits, hoping that it's gonna loosen something up. I'm gonna try to heat up just the head basically, right where the stud goes in. I'm hoping that it just shrinks up just a little bit to loosen up for us. A lot of hope, a lot of hopes and dreams here. Roughly a minute or so. Say a prayer. The Harley gods. Why are you spinning? The nut's not supposed to spin, but it is. We need the stud to spin. Being a little naughty, huh? This is not ideal. If your head is on the bike, we are stuck in a pickle. A little bit of a pickle here. This is not good at all, boys. This is not good at all. Back to the drawing board. Okay, we're back at it, day 2. We're gonna give this Duralast stud extractor a try. Looks like a pretty good, promising tool. We will see. Basically, it's like a collet that just kinda, as you go counterclockwise, it gets smaller and smaller. In turn, will grip the stud over here. Smallest it goes is quarter, biggest it goes is 1/2 inch. So we're doing 5/16, so we're just over the quarter amount. A hair or two past the quarter. So this should suffice. I think I'm gonna get it in place, get it roughly where I want it, and then bring in the torch, get it torched for about 2 minutes and give it another shot. I also soaked it again with PB Blaster all night. So we were trying that method as well. Let's try to get this thing off. That way we can get that longer stud in there and get this exhaust on and be done with this damn job. Clockwise, it opens up for you. So once you put it on, you can get your extension and your ratchet, start moving it counterclockwise. It'll slowly start to close it off. I'm not gonna go all the way on the stud. I'm gonna give myself a little bit just so the flame, the torch can get in there. Cause I'm really after just torching, you know, where the stud goes into the head. Okay, it's pretty tight there. I think I'm happy with that. And we're gonna get to torching. There goes nothing. Just gonna torch the stud for about 2 minutes and we're gonna give her hell and see if she breaks free. All right, 2 minutes is up. Let's kill the flame. Jesus Christ. Damn, it's tight, brother. I don't know, I don't think it's moving. I don't think it's moving. Well, at first you don't succeed. We're gonna try again. Get this thing heated up one more time. I don't know if it's ever gonna come out, to be honest. It's gonna either come out or it's gonna snap off or I'm gonna break my tools or something bad's gonna happen. Okay, another 2 minutes. We're gonna try to do it again. It's just coming right off. Gosh, dang it. Ooh, should have been hot. But yeah, we have another failure. What a waste of 20 bucks. Okay, round 3. Can't give up. Gotta keep on keeping on. Another 2 minute heat cycle coming up. Okay, 2 minutes is up. Come on, baby, this is it, this is it, this is it. This time I'm gonna go for the crescent wrench on the big old nut here. See if I can get better luck. Big old flat sides. 2, 1. Don't know if it budged. I don't know if it budged. The clearance is so freaking hard. No success. No success. It ain't a budgetin'. No budge from you. Round 4. Can't quit. Can't quit. I mean, we could quit, but we're not going to quit. No success. Round 397. Vice grips, baby. Vice grips are my savior. I know it. They've never let me down. torch it, crank it off. 2 minutes, heat it up, try again. Here goes nothing. Nope, that's a big hell no. Some people say to try to put it tight and then loosen. Nope. Nope, slipping. So, decided to grind it flat onto the stud now. Just gonna try to get a better bite with the vice grips and try for around 396. I haven't lost my mind yet, or my temper. Never gonna give up till I win, till I succeed. Pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. So let's get this motherfucker out of here. Okay, we are clamped. Use the channel locks to get the clamp down on the vice grips. That's how crazy tight I am right now. And yeah, we're gonna heat it up and go for the loosening here. Hopefully she breaks free. Right, Jay? Yeah. Torch her up. 2.5 minutes in on the torching. That's a negatory. That's a negatory on that one. Well, things have gone quite out of hand on this thing. As you can see, the other head is off. I gave up on that stud and I just had to take the head off. So yeah, long story short, got the head off, took it to work, and we were able to get this machined out. So here's a little bit of the process on that. I swear it's fun.
Ooh, there it came, right off.
All right.
So we got that answers what we're gonna do now. Little cuts. More than likely we're gonna be picking the threads out of there, hopefully. I see a little line there, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, you can see what's left of it.
Yeah, but I need to go deeper, or else the whole thing would come. But now I can't because I just did this, so I break it off. Which was probably stupid. I should have kept going. But it is a 16. I'm shocked. I'm into something. Yeah, that's aluminum now. That was a deep stud. I would have never guessed it was that deep.
Let's see, where do I start? With the good old Napa Auto Parts. Provided me with a 3/8 stud, 3/8/16 stud. So I think I'm just going to convert, just going to be a 3/8/16 stud all the way through. It's not going to be a step stud to a 5/16 24 like the original stud in there. So I got one a little longer, well, a lot of it longer. So it'll give me plenty of room to get that flange on there to get the exhaust mounted back up. So I'm just hoping that it's not too long where I can't get the exhaust flange around, you know, finagle it and try to make it work. But the good news is I can remove this and figure it out with it on the bike. So at a later date, I will determine that. I also picked up some 3/8/16 flange nuts. I'm hoping these are going to fit as well. It's definitely going to be a lot more bulkiness going on, but I think it should accommodate what I need it to do. So that is good news. I also found another exhaust gasket. We ended up destroying that one when we were drilling out the stud. So we just removed that, and then I found another one to put in there. That's one less thing to wait on, one less thing to order. One other modification I had to do was make that hole a 3/8 hole and not a 5/16 hole. So this is my little drilling jig that I have set up here. A couple clamps, a couple screws to hold it stationary. And I just opened up this hole here with a 3/8 drill bit. And we have a success, a great success. One thing I've been wanting to get was an actual, you know, a bench vise so I don't have to do something like this. But the wood clamps, these little Irwin quick grip clamps came in handy. I was trying to drill it, just like kind of holding it down on the bench, and that thing was just spinning. This worked out very well. A couple wood screws and a piece of wood. I was able to drill out that flange, just slightly bigger, just enough to accommodate the stud, the bigger size that I'm going to use. So this will be arranged like this. Again, I may need to trim down this stud. I don't have it set in there all the way down. I have it pretty snug, but it's also cool that it comes with a little quarter hex on the end of it. That way you can kind of drive it right in. No double nut needed. So that's pretty handy. All in all, I think it's going to work out. So that should be the end of the fiasco, the end of the delay. Finally got the problem solved. Hopefully. Got the top of the piston nice and cleaned off. A little WD-40, a little bit of scraping. Turned out pretty nice, pretty clean. I'm gonna get the cylinder off now. So yeah, I have to remove it since I'm already this far. I gotta replace that bottom gasket and double check all the threads are clean, double check the piston ring orientation. Pretty much the same once over I did on the other cylinder. Deve faudi in here. Oy. Not too smooth, but I guess it could be worse. See what we look like in here. It's looking pretty good. Pretty confident I had all the rings in the right orientation when I put it back together the last time. But you never know. Just give it the old some TLC real quick. Come on, baby. Stufferoo down there. Alright, you guys know the drill. Get her torqued down properly, all that good stuff. We're just going to clean up the surfaces, gaskets, O-rings, same old like we did already. Just doing it one more time on the other side, and hopefully this is going to be the last time. This side cleaned up pretty good. Gucci goo. Modifications ready to go. So the only difference really from the front versus the rear cylinder head is going to be this head temperature sensor. And this thing screws on, so this will be hiding down in here. And it's a little tricky to get to in order to get this thing out. Made a little custom tool. It's a 1/2" hex on there, similar to like an O2 sensor where it has the cord connected to it, the wire. So you need to get in there, but it's really not that easy. So basically I just took a 1/2" wrench on the closed end, took it to the grinder about right here, and just grinded right through it. And it made a perfect little, well, I also had to grind around it too. The sidewall was a little too thick in order to fit in this little area. So I grinded that down a bit as well, and now it fits perfectly. I think even, a flare wrench is going to be too bulky for that area. Just in case if you guys need to remove your little temp sensor, that's how I got to it, and it worked out very good. Perfect solution to the problem. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't have to, save me $30 from like a factory Harley specialty tool. So I was pretty happy about that. All right, that is all. Let's get back to work. Okay, well, this is the moment we've all been waiting for, right? We have made it back to the exhaust install. Got our new and improved stud right there, ready to go. And that's pretty much all we were waiting on. Just had to drill out the old one, put a new one in. Full of hope that it's gonna work out with the new stud in here. We're getting very close, very close. So enough talking, let's finagle this exhaust on here, and hopefully it'll be the last time for a long time. Very proud to announce that my new stud that I installed is going to work at the length that it's at. There it is right there. Just got it roughly started with one of the nuts that the stud came with. So I'm happy that it's installed. It's just roughly, you know, it's still loose. I still have to mount up the rear and stuff. All the studs have nuts threaded and started, so we're on the home stretch. This nightmare is finally over. I'm so excited to finally get this thing fired up and see if I did everything correctly. The lows are so low, but I'm really waiting for that real high, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's about time. It's about time for things to start going my way. I've had enough setbacks on this little rebuild, but I guess it could always be worse, right? I won't speak too soon because this thing hasn't fired up yet. Pretty confident in my ability to rebuild this baby, so stay tuned for the first startup, first ride, first heat cycle, all that good stuff. So my little 3/8 16 stud that I put in there came with these little slender, little skinnier nuts. They're not quite the flange style, so I don't know if they'll stay tight as well as this style. There's nothing really to bite onto with these little skinny guys. I'm gonna figure out if I can get this flange nut to fit on there, if I'm gonna have the clearance or not, or I might have to kind of grind down the shoulder on here. You can see that this one here is already pretty close. So this one's even tighter clearance. Try and thread on the bigger one here. Wow, it does fit. And I really don't want, you know, pressure from the nut pushing into the pipe itself. So it still has a bit to go on there where it's tight and secure. But I think we lucked out. Our flange nut's gonna work. Another plus, another thing going our way. I like that. Phew, all right, that's over with. Exhaust is back on, everything's torqued up. 120 inch-pounds, if you're gonna wanna do it by the book, 120 inch-pounds is what you're gonna need on the exhaust flanges. Approximately 90 to 120 inch-pounds. I just used my best judgment and got away with it. Super solid exhaust. It's not going anywhere, as they say. So we're gonna finish this up tomorrow. We're gonna have the first start, maybe the first ride, and we're gonna wrap this damn series up. Finally, it's been fun, but it's been long and drawn out and delay after delay, but what do you expect, you know? There's other life to live besides being in the garage working on the bike. And I'm okay with that, but most importantly, we're gonna get this thing finished tomorrow and move on to the next project. Probably back to my Subaru, hopefully. I mean, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's about time to get back onto the Subaru routine. Subaru rhythm, you know, my bread and butter, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.